Hello again from my front porch. It is the last day of November, which means the No Shave November. This is it. My plan all along has been I was going to grow it to see how it looked, to see how it turned out, and just do the whole No Shave November thing, and then boop, goes away. But I might keep it around just a little bit longer. And the reason for that is the feedback that I've received. And it got me thinking, because when I used to have a mustache. I had a mustache, just full thing. 30 years I had that mustache. And it was the only look that most people even knew me as having. But then I shaved it off the morning that I got divorced. That we were going to go to the courthouse and finalize things, and it was going to be official that we were getting divorced. And I woke up that morning and decided, because I'd been thinking about, did I want to keep the mustache? Did I want to keep that look? And I'd even done kind of a joking online survey, of people asking, should it stay or should it go now? But then I woke up that morning and I decided I'm going to shave it off today. It was symbolic, because yes, it was going to make a physical change to my face, but I'd had the mustache the entire time that my soon-to-be ex-wife and I had known each other. And so it seemed fitting, well, almost the entire time. I guess I did start, we knew each other for about a year before I started growing it, now that I think about it. But still, most of the time, overwhelmingly, and certainly during our marriage. But so it was a little bit symbolic that I was changing, that my appearance was changing, not just facially, but in general, just because I was now going to be, single, and that was going to be the focus now of my life, or the definition of my life, and so it seemed appropriate at the time. And so that was my motivation to shave it. Now, at the time, I honestly wasn't completely sure if I was going to keep it off or if I was going to grow it back, because even I had become used to having the thing on my face for 30 years, 3 decades. That's a long time. But I started to get all this positive feedback. People saying things like, you look younger, you look healthier, you don't look like a pedophile anymore, and other colorful kinds of things. You don't look like an 80s porn star. And these were from my friends, and I told them, I appreciate that you waited until after I shaved it to tell me that's what you thought I looked like with it. You didn't say anything while I had it on my face. But anyway, that's a whole nother, I digress. So now, for the last approximately 10 years, I have gone without having any facial hair, and the compliments have always been that I looked younger, I looked healthier, that I looked happier, more, my face seemed more pleasant, the mustache was kind of angry, and so that's the way it's been until this month when I grew the beard. And initially, not surprisingly, the feedback that I got was, oh, you look different with that. You look, and my reaction was, especially early on, you look like old homeless guy. That's, and I wasn't really fond of that either. But as it is filled in over the course of this month, the comments and the opinions towards it have noticeably changed. And that has been a noticeable change as well in opinions toward me. And what I mean by it is this. There are some people who say it looks classy, that it looks distinguished, that it looks statesmanlike. Now, I'm not sure. To me, those are all just variations of makes you look old, but still. I did have somebody ask me if I was getting ready to be Santa at the mall in December, and I said, no, I'm just doing it for No Shave November. The only reason it looks like Santa is because I'm old. But still, the comments actually have been overwhelmingly positive. Nobody has said anything negative about it. Nobody has said, I don't like it. Nobody said it makes you look bad. Nothing like that. It's all been very, very positive stuff. And in fact, in the world that I work, the construction world, some of the individuals who I've interacted with, they don't overtly make comment about it. I mean, they'll say, "Oh, hey, you look different." But the tone of our conversations, the nature of what is being discussed, it feels like I am being talked to as more of an equal than I was before. See, I work in the construction industry, but as in a training role, but I have never worked construction. I've never been a construction worker of any kind. And so when I'm sitting talking with individuals who are leaders or are frontline subject matter experts who have worked in construction, traditionally, there's that little bit of a question about me, a little bit of that suspicion. Does this guy even really understand what it is we're even here talking about? And how serious can I take him? That's always kind of hung in the background over me. But for whatever reason, this seems to, I can't explain the why, and it's probably not a single answer. It's probably based on individual basis interpretation, but those conversations I seem to now be taken a bit more seriously, seem to be taken, regarded as a bit more authoritative. Now, again, it could go back to just looking old. It could be that, okay, now I'm not just that Paul guy. Now I'm this guy with this beard that makes me look wise. And so, maybe we should listen to this guy. He sounds like he has wisdom. I don't know. But that's been an interesting, almost like a social experiment to see how that changes. Now, I also have noticed an increase in the number of, especially young ladies, and don't jump ahead of me. You don't know where I'm going with this. But the number of young ladies who I will encounter at like a gas station or something who hold the door open for me and say, "Let me get that for you, sir." I'm not as fond of that part. But again, I think some of that is because, I look older, but I think some of that is also because there's just something about this salt and pepper beard kind of appearance that does trigger some level of respect in the other person's brain. That they may say there may be all those things about age and old, but somewhere in there is this: the person that looks like this is somebody I'm supposed to show respect to. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that all up in my head. But you need to take it seriously because you need to show respect. No, but seriously, it has been interesting to observe the noticeable, at least from my perspective, the noticeable shifting in how at least some people react to me and some people respond. Now, there are others, honestly, I've really been surprised that there are some people who they just take it in stride and it doesn't matter. That's just still Paul. Okay, so he's got a beard. And I find that interesting too, that they just look right past it. And it doesn't mean that they then are demeaning to me or anything. It may just be they already were respectful toward me, and so it doesn't change that dynamic to them. I don't know. But I think I may keep it around a bit longer. Maybe through the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe longer. Because now it's getting to the point where it's starting to get a little scraggly, and so now I got to figure out how to trim it. So I don't want to thin it out too much. Make it look like stubble again. But I don't want all the little wispies sticking out in every direction. And obviously there are tools to do that, and there are ways to do that. And I just got to get up to speed on what those things are. If it becomes too much of a hassle, then that's also a good reason to get rid of it. If the maintenance becomes problematic, then it's not worth it. But But I think I may keep it around a little bit longer just to see how things play out, to see how things go. I know it's a given dad joke built right in here, but it is true that it has kind of grown on me. I mean, yeah, literally. But I now can see myself in the mirror or in the phone right now, and I can say, it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good. Will that always be my mentality? Yeah, maybe not. And does my keeping it depend on whether people are treating me nice or not? No, that's not what I'm saying either. I'm just saying it is interesting to see how that changes. When I shaved the mustache, some people had some pretty... I remember Ashley, my daughter, who had only ever known me with a mustache. She came down the stairs in the house here and met me at the bottom of the stairs. I came out of my bathroom area, and I had shaved it off. That was the first time she'd ever seen me without it, and she just stopped cold. And she just looked at me. And for the longest time, now it probably was only like a couple seconds, but it felt like a long time, she stared, and then she goes, "You're going to grow it back, right?" Because to her, I looked weird. I did not look like her dad. I looked like somebody else. And then, of course, what all these other people were telling me was the somebody else I looked like was a much better looking fellow than the guy with the mustache. So I don't see myself ever going back to the mustache look again, honestly. But what Ashley was conveying was, you're a different person without the mustache. And what I think I've been noticing in some of these interactions is that there are people who also see me as a different person with the beard. So I think I'm gonna let it play out a little longer. See where this journey takes it. Life is all about learning things and exploring and grabbing onto the opportunities when they present themselves. Who knows? Maybe this odd, quirky challenge to do No Shave November creates a whole different version of Paul. I guess time will tell. And you'll be here with me to endure the entire journey too, as I share with you what's happening. But with that, and with my beard still intact through the end, even though we are now at the end of the month, it's still here. With that, I'm going to let you go. And I'll see y'all next time from my front porch.